Hi, angels. It is Marita Joyce over at Angela Maternity Services, and I'm back with another video. As you guys know, live in Florida, so we are set for some storms. So hopefully, I can stay connected. We can do this video, and by the time I'm done, then the storm can do whatever it wants to do. So, this video is about herbs, spice, and everything nice. You guys may not know this, but I am a big tea and natural food and herb and all things natural, all things that are good for my body. And so I just wanted to share with you guys a little bit about my diet and how I sustain myself. So, one of my seeds that I have been using lately, and I have to look at these good. Okay, yeah, this is it. It's black seed. I don't know if you guys are familiar with black seed, but it's just little bitty black seeds, very, very, very small. Um, this is probably not the best way to show them to you guys, but I have them in this container in my kitchen, and I just kind of keep them in there. But sometimes I get them confused with my black sesame seeds. As you can see, they look almost identical. And I'll talk to you guys maybe in another video about my black sesame seeds. But yeah, as you can see, they look, I mean, it's hard to really tell the difference between the two. I can tell the difference because I look at them and it's just a slight difference, but they look almost identical. I think the black seeds are actually more black, if that makes any sense, than the black sesame seeds. So I'm able to tell the difference. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting because when they're sitting on my counter and they're close together, I have to really focus and pause before I grab one of them to make sure that I got the right one. So if you want to have a comparison of what they actually look like if you've never seen them, is they look almost identical to black sesame seeds. So if you have black sesame seeds at home, you just take a look at them. But if you could go by one of your grocery stores and just go down the aisle and take a look at the black sesame seeds, then you'll see almost exactly what the black seeds look like. So yeah, so the black seeds are they're a recent addition to my herbs and spices and everything nice, but I really love them. I started to do research on these and take these for stomach issues. So that's kind of why I use it, and I love it. It's very good. I use it for the nutritive qualities of it, mostly. And so, there's so many different things. The National Institute of Health has done quite a bit of research, and on their website, they have, all kinds of information about black seeds, just extensive information. So I'm not going to go into all of those details because I think it's important to tell you guys where you can find the information, let you go out and do your own research. I am not a physician. This is not medical advice, and I don't know your medical history. So it just wouldn't be wise for me to give you any recommendations or anything like that. I'm strictly talking about what I do for myself. And this is about me, basically, just sharing it with you guys. So I'm not recommending this to anyone. You need to speak with your provider before you take any sort of herbs or just putting anything in your body, because herbs can interact with regular medications and things like that. So again, this is not advice. This is not encouragement for you guys to go out and do it. This is just me sharing what I do in my everyday life for me and what I think works for me. Okay. So I just want to be clear about that. So yeah, this is Nigella sativa, and it's really good. Some people like to make oils out of it. As you can see here, I did come up with a little concoction of oil. I stirred this up. I think I've had this now for at least a month, and you can see it's not as black, but when I stir it, you can see all the beans in there. So this has been soaking for a month. I'm eventually going to strain the seeds out and just have the oil, but I use coconut oil for mine. And the goal for me is just to take small little bits, just a small amount of it whenever I feel that I need it or I want to take some. So that's how I did it. I tasted it for the first time today. I have been just letting it marinate in this oil for about a month now. And so I tasted it for the first time today. And I will tell you guys, it was so strong. I ran to the restroom and brushed my teeth immediately. So, and I'm the kind of person that I love things that are good for me. Even if it doesn't taste great, I can acquire a taste for it. That's just how I am. If I know that something's really good for me, or if I think it might help me health wise or might be beneficial to me, if I add it to my regimen, then I can pretty much go with it. But I will tell you, this is probably was the hardest thing that I've ever had to taste. And I take all kinds of herbs and spices and matcha teas and things that are just earthy tasting. And, most people just wouldn't have a stomach for it. This was, I can say definitively, this was the hardest thing I ever had to stomach, if you don't mind the pun. So it was tough, but it was my first time taking it as an oil. I had to let it sit for a while. But with the seeds, I started out consuming the seeds regularly, just a small amount of it, and I would make tea with it. So for me, anytime I'm starting something new, I always go, start low and go slow, meaning that I start with a small amount and I consume it slowly because I don't know if I might be allergic to it. I don't know, what, right? Because I've never taken it. So that's how I did with this. I started with a small amount of it. I put a scoop, of tea, I steep it, and I just drank just a few sips of it the first time I ever had it because, again, I didn't know if my body would like it or not. And then after I sort of developed a little taste for it, I started drinking more and more. And so now every morning I have tea and then I try to have some at night before I go to bed. I didn't today because I took the oil version of it and I think that was enough for me. It tastes totally different to me in the tea form when I make tea as opposed to the oil. So I will tell you, I will finish this oil because it's more concentrated. I'll finish it because I made it and I don't want to waste it and throw it out. And I still, want to get, to say that I did it and I actually, I want to see if there's any benefits. I want to see if I feel any different from taking it. But I tell you, I'll probably won't make it again just because it was so strong. I like it in the tea version. I love teas. It's easy for me to consume. It's fast. I don't need to wait a month for it. And I can just steep it, put it in my tea, drink it, and be done. It agrees with my body. I haven't had any issues with it. And I love the way it makes me feel. And to me, it almost tastes a little earthy and almost like a black tea. So I can definitely I can roll with that. So that's my preferred way to have it. I love it. It's, again, it has become a part of my daily ritual. I do it after I exercise. I drink a full cup of water from exercise. Sometimes it's lemon water. Then I move on after my exercise and the first thing I will put in my stomach before I eat is this tea. I drink a cup of it and then I wait for a little bit and then I have my breakfast. Go my day. At the end of my day, I will either have it before I eat my meal, last meal of the night, or I will have it after I eat my meal and before I go to sleep. And again, I absolutely love it. I'm not going to go into any of the medicinal benefits of it or any of that stuff because you can find it online. I've told you at least one place where you can go. You have to do your own research. This is not something that you want to try to copy from someone else. It's something you want to, consult with your provider, whoever that is. That is not me. And then you want to make a decision about what you're doing. So this is not something you want to copy from me, but that is the way I do it. That's the way I like it. My body likes it. And I'm very happy with this. And I think, so I want to talk about a little bit about how I learned about it. Um, I'm very interested in, again, herbs, spice, everything. I'm a learner by nature. I love learning, probably more than anything else. I can just be sitting, and all of a sudden, my brain will say, "Let's look up what's the health benefits of whatever." And sometimes I can do this all day, and I can literally go down a deep, dark tunnel for hours looking up the benefits of this or that. And in some way, some kind of way, I was researching one day and black seed oil came up. And I went down a deep dark tunnel researching every single thing I could find on it. And then I decided, after doing all of that, that I would try it. But I'd done research for a long time, maybe I would say maybe 6 months to a year of just reading on it, reading on it, reading on it, watching videos. I watched some videos, I listened to some other people and what their experiences were. But then after doing that, I decided that I would try it. So that's kind of how I learned about it. But yeah, if you go to the National Institutes of Health, the National Library of Medicine, you'll see some of the studies that they have published about it and some of the things. And there's just so much information about black seeds. Like, you can find, all kinds of stuff, and you can just read up on it. It's and it is more than 2,500 years old in its origin. That the Greek had it in their literature. That it was discovered in the tomb of a pharaoh. Like, this stuff is history condensed. Let's just say that it's history. It's very much entrenched in history. Okay, it is something that was, a lot of Muslims, I think, are, captivated by it because the Prophet Muhammad had some things to say about it. You guys can look up this stuff yourself. I don't want to go too deep into any of this because I'm not a Muslim, so I don't want to speak on some things that I'm not religiously associated with or culturally associated with. But that was initially where I first heard about it online. I was reading something and it said something about the Prophet Muhammad talking about it. And I just continued to go again down that deep, dark tunnel for hours, researching, reading everything I could about it. And I found it very fascinating. And so I wanted to learn more about it. I wanted to see what the benefits were. And from what I read, it just seemed like a good thing for me. So I decided to do it. Yeah, I loved hearing about all of the different cultures that have been using it, right? Because I'm an American. So, prior to maybe a couple of years ago, I didn't hear a lot about black seed. So it's not, entrenched in American culture, I don't think. But a lot of other cultures seem to have known about this and are using it. And I thought that was really cool. Just hearing about the history of it and how it was used in, within various cultures. Um, so yeah, some people take it, and they eat it, I guess, just the seeds raw. I've tried to do that with a couple of them, but it's just, like, that to me is just not the best way for me to consume it. So I decided to do it with tea, which is something I'm very familiar with. I'm a tea lover, so it just worked for me. But yeah, I was fascinated with it. I love it. You guys can see that I have it in both the seed form and in the oil form. Um, and I'm thrilled with the way I feel when I take it. I like it. I enjoy it. I haven't had any, you know, I haven't experienced any negative experiences with it at all. I feel good. I feel healthy. So yeah, I think it's something that I would keep up. So this is a peek into, my life and some of the things that I do um, within my diet and to maintain my health. I'm very much into herbs and natural food and all of the things. And so it just seemed natural to me that I would try it. So I decided to give it a try. And I have been pleasantly surprised with it. I love it. And yeah, that is it. So this is black seed, and this is my black seed oil. And this is something that I do almost daily. I won't say every single day, but I can call it a daily regimen because I do it enough that it has become a part of my ritual or daily habit or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, it's late here, guys. I can hear my voice cracking. It's 1:04 a.m. So, I am tired. I keep saying I'm not going to go to bed late, but then I'm like a teenager and I love to stay up late. And so, here I am. I like to rise early. I'm an early riser. I like to get up at like 5 a.m. It hasn't happened in a few days just because I've been going to bed so late. So it's now 1:04 in the morning. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got something from this video. My name is MJ. I am a birth and postpartum doula. This was Herb, Spice, and Everything Nice. I'm just trying to give you guys some insight into a little bit more about who I am. And if you are interested in my doula services, please email me. My email is in the description box. And if you don't know what to expect from my service, I always say expect an angel. I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.